Tonight, a former ECHO CEO speaks out 2 years after he was dismissed on a claim of misappropriation of finances. Public outcry about the perceived dangers of the burnt-down Voyager store. And the former president of the Consumers Association calls for the removal of politically biased heads from the organization. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night, it is Tuesday, the 7th of January, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117. The broadcast is also being simulcast on Kiss FM. You can watch via our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, also our Facebook page. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. The former CEO of the Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization, ECHO, is finally breaking his silence on the unceremonious dismissal from the company 2 years ago. Although he emerged victorious after suing ECHO for wrongful dismissal, Steve Etienne says he is not thrilled about the settlement that took place in mediation. However, he says he is happy to finally put the matter to rest. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting.
Steve Etienne, the former long-standing CEO of the Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO, has one wish, and that is to no longer be referred to as Mr. ECHO. Etienne met with the local media on Tuesday morning to clear the air and finally break his silence on the outcome of a 2-year battle with the company after he was unceremoniously fired from his position and accused of misappropriation of the financial assets of the organization. Vehemently claiming his innocence, Etienne took the Music Copyright Society to court for wrongful dismissal. The two parties eventually agreed to enter into mediation, where Etienne was awarded a substantial payment with interest plus the cost in settlement of his claim. Although he said he could have fought on, the time consumption would have been too much.
Such matters can drag on. It's been 2 years. Quite frankly, you could hold on for X amount down the road, or you could decide to listen, let's call it a day, let's get this out of the way. So that I kind of felt I was in a bit of limbo while this was dragging on. I could not develop Icon with that hanging over me. So these were some of the factors. If I wanted to retire and sit down and do anything else, perhaps I could drag my feet and hold out for whatever. And the other thing is, I do not know about the capacity of the longevity of the organization itself. So what do you call it? Cut and run?
Etienne expressed disappointment in the way he parted ways with the company, claiming that it involved wicked whispers and indirect character defamation.
I've always maintained that a CEO's role is one to serve, and when his service is no longer required, he has to go. Right? A CEO's position is not for life. But of course, when you dismiss a CEO, it should not be a character assassination on some false allegations or whatever. It should be a parting of the baton would be the best way. But that wasn't done, so that was a bit messy.
In the end, when asked whether he was happy with the final payment, this is what Etienne had to say.
One is never happy with not receiving what you think you're worth. But I'm happy that closure has been reached and I can move on.
Etienne has not let the case slow him down, as during the press meet, he introduced his new business venture, Icon Intellectual Property Consultancy, which is a London-based company aimed at protecting the work of business owners and artists from piracy and digital violations. The venture is a global entity which will see Etienne traveling the world to tend to his clients. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Public concerns are mounting over the safety around the burned-down Voyager building. Concerned citizens say quick resolve is needed to ensure members of the public do not fall victim to the harmful possibilities that loom around the charred structure. Solange Alfred reports.
The remnants of the Ajuda building that housed the Voyager store on William Peter Boulevard in Castries remains an eyesore of what was once a booming establishment. The mid-afternoon fire that engulfed the building on Thursday, November 21, 2019, brought the city of Castries to a standstill. Now, as the island has entered into a new year, concerned citizens are voicing outrage over the lack of movement surrounding cleanup efforts of the building. Concerned citizen Alexis Alexander calls for a cordoning off of the area and warns of the potential dangers from falling objects.
I find the city or whoever that's in charge to do something about it, because they have galvanized hanging there and people walking by this building. If somebody gets hurt by this galvanized, if a strong wind, somebody gets hurt by this galvanized that hanging there, who will compensate them?
Meanwhile, another concerned citizen raises an additional point of concern regarding the health and safety of members of society who operate within close proximity of the burnt down site.
Naturally, they were supposed to clean up that place already, because even you could take the smell of the nylons and different things inside it, because you know that those places contain plastic and different things. Well, they were supposed to, ever since, to clean that place, because people going up and down, and sometimes when I pass in there, I have to block my nose. And it is a danger for those people that just be there selling also, because every time you pass there, you're still taking the smell. It's time for them to take out those in there, because you don't know what damage they have, because they have plastic and different things.
Another individual who operates in close proximity to the burnt down Ajuda building expresses his hope for quick resolve to the unfavorable situation.
I'm hoping at any time they should dismantle the building, because the building is not what it was before the fire. So I believe the authorities will do something about dismantling the building.
Fire officials have indicated that the cause of the fire is still unknown. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The raging fires of Australia have burnt a hole in the heart of the local fire service. A heartfelt message of solidarity has been issued. Assistant Divisional Officer of the St. Lucia Fire Service, Jermaine Williams, puts into context the gravity of the situation on not just the continent of Australia, but on its firefighters.
All in a day's work for the firefighters in Australia, tasked with fighting the massive flames that have been described as the worst blaze for a decade. The wildfires have claimed the life of 24 people and destroyed more than 200 homes, as well as immeasurable havoc wreaked on Australia's wildlife population. Firefighters have been combating the crisis for months, with no immediate end in sight. Assistant Divisional Officer of the St. Lucia Fire Service Department, Jermaine Williams, shares a heartfelt message of support to the Aussie firefighters.
To the Australian people, that our hearts and our prayers, not only as firefighters but as citizens of St. Lucia, are with you. But I want to say a special solidarity message to the firefighters in Australia. We in St. Lucia, despite the fact that we normally have brush fires, we can only begin to imagine the magnitude and the scope of what you have to deal with. And we want to just open our hearts to you, because some of you may be actually affected by those fires, and you still have to perform your duties. So we want to express our deepest gratitude to you, and I'm sure that your fellow countrymen are doing the same.
Williams says the toll taken on not only the firefighters but their families is unimaginable.
You cannot begin to imagine. You have to leave your home in difficult and trying times to assist others, sometimes even while your property or your family is being affected. It's just something that people do not apportion any type of seriousness to. It's something that we as firefighters, we do. Even in St. Lucia, we leave our homes and we head to our nearest station during the time of a hurricane, even while our homes may sometimes be in imminent danger. So it's just something that we do, and I think we are not appreciated enough for those efforts.
With more than 2,000 firefighters working on the wildfires and more support on the way from the US, Canada, and New Zealand, Williams says each individual can also play their part by reducing their carbon footprint that can be adding to climate change.
When any set of people are in danger, you usually have others rallying around them and coming to their aid. Like I said earlier, people are generally good, and we always want to do good. Okay, so despite the war or threat of war or turmoil in different areas, people will reach out to people and assist people.
Unfortunately, Australia is only just entering its summer season, with temperatures peaking in January and February. This means the country could be months away from finding relief. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Sola Jalpa.
The world is still on edge as it looks on to witness the unfolding of the rising tensions between the United States of America and Iran. Meanwhile, former UN Ambassador Earl Huntley says whilst World War III is highly unlikely, the fallout could leave many lives, including those of St. Lucians, at serious risk.
St. Lucians and citizens across the world are now at risk of being casualties in the growing tensions between the United States of America and Iran after the killing of a top Iranian commander following a direct order by U.S. President Donald Trump. Former ambassador of St. Lucia to the United Nations, Earl Huntley, says the recent state of unrest just further highlights how dangerous the world has become. He says being in the wrong place at the wrong time could be costly.
I think the conflict is going to be confined more in the Middle East at American targets there to try to force the Americans out of the region. I think that is the ultimate aim of the Iranians. Of course, if they want to spread it, as I said, and really hit them hard, you have what we call soft targets, which are not in America. And this is where the danger is for other regions like the Caribbean and other parts of the world.
With that said, should St. Lucians be worried that when those soft targets are being targeted, we could end up being casualties?
Well, you have to worry. You have to worry. As I said, this is a dangerous world. This is what this has shown. We are living in dangerous times, and let us hope that it doesn't get worse.
Huntley says there is so much at stake, including unrest between allied nations. He said there will also be an impact on people of the Caribbean.
The immediate impact for us in the Caribbean and St. Lucia is that the rise of oil prices, which has already started. If it gets worse, then that part of it gets worse. But let us hope peace. We want peace in the world.
With viral talks of an impending World War III, Huntley says whilst unlikely, such an event would be far more catastrophic